So in my recent no buy video, I got a lot of comments from people asking me what to do instead of shopping. Because let's face it, life without spending money sounds pretty boring, doesn't it? In my no buy year, I obviously only bought essentials, which meant I couldn't buy alcohol, I couldn't go out to parties at clubs, I couldn't go to theatre trips or to the cinema, I couldn't buy any subscription services such as television streaming services like Netflix or magazines. I couldn't go bowling, I couldn't go to exhibitions, I couldn't go abroad, you know. Oh, and of course retail therapy. Couldn't do that either. And when people hear this, there's a lot of concern, particularly from people who like to shop, usually to cure boredom. And I had quite a few people go, what do you do if you're not shopping? How do you cure your boredom? And I get it, you know, casual consumerism, i.e. retail therapy, is a very popular sedative. I know, I use it all the time. Whenever I was sad, whenever I was bored, whenever I was anxious, or whenever I was depressed, I would go out and buy myself a book or, you know, a nice new cardigan or jumper. However, if you are frightened of giving up shopping because you are scared that you'll have no cure for your boredom, look at yourself. And now look at what consumerist culture has dwindled you down to. You are an intelligent, vibrant, creative, exciting person, but you've had your confidence knocked down so much by capitalism media that you've become convinced that you have to part with your money in order to enjoy your life and enjoy your company. Think about that for a moment. Now start fighting the fear. Don't allow the systems and society's capitalistic mindset to reduce you down to an economic pawn for their benefit. Society makes you work long hours for very little pay, only to then convince you that you're not good enough for the money that they gave you, so you need to give it back to them as soon as possible, but then keep in a cycle of working harder and earning more just to give it back just as fast, in bigger amounts. I don't know buy yet, and I managed to have fun on my year without going out, without spending money, without resorting to shopping, and I intend on having many more years this way. I don't intend on quitting anytime soon, not within the next 5 years, that's for sure, but I intend to have fun throughout it. So here's a list of things that you can do to have fun without having to spend your money and going on a retail therapy trip. Number 1. Listen to podcasts as you declutter and organise your life. So I start with decluttering for a reason. If you are starting a no-buy challenge of any form, decluttering from the beginning really gets you into the mindset of minimalising your life. Once you spend days, weeks, or potentially months decluttering, the last thing you want to do is make your life difficult for yourself again by reintroducing more stuff into your life thanks to shopping. So use your decluttering time wisely. It can be fun. Listen to some podcasts as you go along. And you can either listen to podcasts about sustainable living that will inspire you, or just other podcasts on topics that you really enjoy. And if you're missing out on hanging out with your friends, why not invite them round to help you declutter your house? It can be a fun party decluttering Marie Kondo party, and you can also go to each other's houses and help each other declutter. 2, it sounds obvious, but it has to come next. Reading. Reading is obviously something that I really love, but it's something everyone can learn to love in their own way. You can be someone who borrows books from the library, or you can be someone who starts reading more articles online in the news, or just general articles like on Medium. You may have some books sitting around for years in your house that you haven't touched, or there could be a wad of articles that you've bookmarked on your computer that you've just completely forgotten about, but you know they're there, and you haven't taken the time to sit down because you'd rather go on Instagram than read some new articles. So if you're bored at the weekend when you'd rather go shopping, pick up a book instead and see if you can read a book in a weekend. 3, exercise. So I classified fitness and health as essentials in my no-buy year, which meant I could buy any kind of fitness service which kept me active. I couldn't buy new sportswear, but I could go to new classes. So at the beginning I went to dance classes, and then halfway through I decided to join a gym. Exercising wasn't something I was very invested in before my no-buy year, but now I've become like super invested in my fitness. Like I'm obsessed with going to the gym. I love it. But there are other things that you can do on a no-buy year if you don't want to spend money. So obviously you can go running or walking or do some home workouts, because there's plenty of home workouts that are online. But if you want to spend a little bit of money on your health, because obviously that's an essential, you need to do that, join a dance class, go to martial arts class, join an aerial club, go pole dancing, yoga, or for free you can join a netball team or a football team or a hockey team or a basketball team or a baseball team. Have baseball teams in the UK? I don't think so. Or you can just go swimming on a regular weekly basis if you can swim. I'm not one of those people. But think of how many hours you spend shopping in front of your computer or at the weekend in the shops going down the high street, when you could actually go to the gym and work out in that time instead. If you put all the hours that you put into shopping, you could be incredibly fit by the end of 2020. 4, visit museums and galleries which are free, and then find out when some of them that aren't free are free. So a lot of museums and galleries in the UK are free. They're donation based only. There are certain museums and galleries that you have to pay for to get into, but sometimes some of those museums do free days. So in Scotland, Holyrood Palace and the Royal Gallery are free on St Andrew's Day. So guess how I spent my St Andrew's Day? You can also browse your local shops or your local bookshops or even local festivals to see if there's free stuff going on in your local area. Speaking of which, number 5, join a free club or a group in your area. From book clubs to walking groups to swimming enthusiasts to dog meetups. There are websites and apps such as Meetup, City Socializer and Thinking Bob which either help you find or set up groups in your local area. From professional social gatherings to creative get-togethers. Also just check around your local area and just walk by and see what local shops are doing. Also there's always usually a pub quiz somewhere in the line where you can go with your friends, and no, you don't have to drink to go to a pub. I don't. I just get a bowl of chips for my dinner because that's the only vegan option. 6 is hiking and exploring nature. How can you not love hiking and just exploring everywhere? More people need to spend more time in nature and just exploring local forests, local woodlands, or just going in the park and walking around the park. If you have a bike, cycle. That's awesome. Just spending more time outdoors. Again, listen to podcasts if you're alone. Is a really awesome way to get yourself out of the house. And if you don't like walking alone, you can offer to walk someone's dog for free. There are apps that let you do that. 7, write about things which interest you. Obviously, writing has been a huge part of my life this year, but everyone has the capacity to write and it doesn't have to be professional. However, why not put it out there? Why not start writing that blog about that thing that really interests you? Why don't you start writing poetry? Why don't you start writing your book or your short story collection? Start writing in your journal on a daily basis. Start taking notes, start making lists, start writing on a daily basis. Writing is such an awesome thing to do in your spare time. Get your thoughts out on paper, plan your goals, list what you want for your future. Write down your dream movie. Write down movie reviews of the films that you love the most. There's so much that you could possibly write about that they can take up hours of your time. You don't need shopping. You can write for way more and you can create so much beauty out of that. The next one is meditation. Start meditating. There's an app that I use most called Insight Timer. It's totally free. There is a paid service, but there's a free service and there's lots of things on the free side of that app. And you can even specify what you want to meditate about. You can even probably put in shopping in there, and there's probably a meditation for anti-shopping and anti-consumerism or minimalism or decluttering. There are guided meditations for lots of different topics. So when you get a crave to go shopping, meditate instead. Meditate for 15 minutes with that free app. It's awesome. Not sponsored. I wish I was, but I'm not. But it's an awesome app. I love it. Next one is playing board games. If you have some board games in your house, why don't you play them? Invite your friends round and just cook a dinner and just play board games all night with them and ask them to bring their board games round. Board games aren't as dorky as people think they are. I think they're really fun. And the final one, which is a bit of a laxy, but hear me out, I'm going to discuss this further. Education, aka take some classes. So this isn't always a free option, but it's something I think should be included in a no-buy year. This isn't something that I've discussed in my video because I want to discuss it here. But I came to this conclusion by pure accident. So before I even started my 2019 no-buy year, in August of 2018, I booked myself to be in some classes in 2019. So I booked myself to be in 2 night schools. One for a class on fairy tales and analysis of fairy tales, and another class on existentialism. So I'd already booked those in August of 2018, so when it came to 2019, I didn't have to pay anything, but I went to those classes and oh my gosh, these classes were amazing. I love them. And from that experience myself, I believe education should be classified as an essential that should be included in your no-buy year. Education is far more meaningful and insightful than any pair of shoes or a night out with your friends. And it doesn't have to always be expensive. There are free things like Duolingo online where you can learn a whole language for free and you can spend your evenings learning a language, just 1 hour a night learning a new language. That would be awesome. There's also places like Udemy and Skillshare, again not sponsored, but they offer lots of courses. Some of them are free, some of them you pay for, but it's like £10 for a whole lifetime access to a course, which could be over 160 hours. But then you can also see in your local area if your university offers night school for non-students, which you go to if you want to be around other students and meet more people and socialize. And there are so many classes out there, it's unbelievable. I did a class on fairy tales, but you can do classes on literature, philosophy, art, history, culture, archaeology, graphic design, IT, coding, science, mathematics, all type of languages, baking, cooking, sewing, knitting. There are so many classes out there, it's insane. Obviously budget yourself, don't expend yourself by buying lots of courses on Udemy and then never using any of them. Buy one at a time, take a course, complete a course, start a new course if you're interested. I don't see education as a buy. I see education as a personal investment. I believe investing in yourself is the best thing you can do. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful to all of you who are scared of doing a no-buy period for a month or a week or anything and thinking that you can't have any fun. I have lots of fun on my no-buy year. I don't need money to make me happy. I find things as I go. Give this video a like if you found it useful and subscribe if you're new. So hi, my name's Cinzia. Lovely to meet you. And I'll see you tomorrow for another video. And remember, books save lives, so keep reading.